All right, next, Jordan. I have a few do follow citations with decent DA, okay, that are showing as no index. In the past, I'd throw those suckers into serpspace indexing, but she's gone. Other than tweeting them out, are there any tricks to get these citation sites to index? I know Google has slowed their roll. I'll let the other guys comment on that, but my thought is, even if it's not indexed, Google likely knows it's there, right? And I mean, there are certainly reasons why you would want them to be indexed too. But my point is the citations, doesn't, just because it's not, if they're set to no index, you're saying they're showing as no index. So I don't know whether you're saying that if they're set to no index or just they're not indexed. If Jordan, if you could clarify that, because if they're set to no index, then I don't know that you can force Google to index it. I mean, I've seen that happen, but it usually doesn't last. But if they're just not indexed, then typically they will over time index. I know citations have always, a lot of citations have always been slow to index anyways. But again, just because they're not indexed doesn't mean they're not being counted by Google. And we know, because we've tested that, number one. But number two, I know that we've no indexed like PBN stuff in the past, but the links would still show on the inbound links, links to your site inside a Search Console. Does that make sense? So Google knows they're there, even if they're not indexed, right? So go ahead, Marco. Can you comment on that?
Yeah. Well, what I would tell him to do is, like, we're throttled in the URL submit, right? I think it's still the limit is around 10 or 11. But what you could do, I think, or I'm pretty sure Jordan has Browsio. If you have multiple profiles set up in Browsio, then your VA should be submitting links like crazy through the URL submitter, even though it's throttled. If you have 10 or 100 profiles inside Browsio, or let's say Ghost Browser, then you're bypassing kind of the throttling. There's other things that I'm not going to give away here that we use to get our stuff indexed. And of course, he can always reach out to Dedia.
Yeah.
Because he knows Dedia, and Dedia will get what is it, over 40% indexed. So Dedia is doing really good. So there's ways to bypass it. Talk to Dedia about getting your stuff indexed, and I mean there's other ways, and I'm not going to get into that in a free forum. Sorry, guys.
Well, I got one more comment on that, and that's you could also, I know I've done fairly well with just linking to like a site, especially citation sites with press releases. It's a great way to boost a citation, especially if it's got a do follow link. Whether it's indexed or not, I don't care, because if it's got a do follow link and I'm pushing a bunch of PR links to it, some of which will be do follow, most of which are no follow, but it still ends up working really well, because you're going to end up pushing it through that do follow link from the citation, whether it's indexed or not. So
yeah, it's a nice one.